All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. It's the end of the memorial of blowing the trumpets, and I just wanted to go into a lesson. We're of course blowing the trumpet sounded the alarm. Trying to give warning to our people. The Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and that the time is running out. We're we're in a war zone. We're behind enemy lines, and I just was thinking about we're prey. Esau, Edom, the other nations, they're predators. They're preying upon us. They're doing whatever they want to us. They're slaughtering us, in other words. Using us however they want to use us. And hey, this is one because of our own iniquity. But I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 4. And I'm gonna jump down. It says, O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us. So, hey, the things that are pleasing, hearing Yahweh Shem Yahushai, turning back, repenting, believing in the words that he said, having faith. These things are made known unto us now in these last days. What's truly pleasing. Verse 5, be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. So this is to the Israelites. Before this truth, you're downtrodden, depressed, whatever, having no idea why, and now we've woken up, and everything, this knowledge has improved our lives. Let's just say it like that. No amount of money or carnal things or short-term pleasures could have the effect that this truth has. And also, be of good cheer, my people. Who's the Lord's people? The Israelites. Who Yahweh Shema Shai made a covenant with. Who he's given these laws, statutes, commandments to. The memorial of Israel. And memorial, when you look at that, when you go into that word memorial, that's when it says Zion or to Zion, it means memorial. It says, verse 6, you are sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto your enemies. So we're sold to the nations. Esau, Edom being the top nation, but all the other nations around the world, the 18 nations, if we're scattered all around the world. This is all throughout the scriptures. And this is because we moved the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our power, to wrath. And it goes into it. Verse 7, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God. And we worship other gods. And we worship idols. We went completely off. So, verse 8, ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. So we went completely off. Northern Kingdom going off worshiping idols and being carried into captivity in the Assyrian, under the Assyrian kingdom. And then after their captivity was over, they came here to the Americas. And then Judah, the southern kingdom, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah were often idolatry as well. And there was a small remnant that was still holding on to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But overall, our people went off. For when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, God hath brought upon me great mourning, for I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. So For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. So even the land, our land is mourning, figuratively speaking. But I'm gonna jump down. This is let's see, verse. I'll start at verse 21. Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord, and he will deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. So Yahweh Shem Shai, he sent us away, he delivered us into the hand of our enemies, and guess what? He's going to deliver us out of the hand of our enemies. Where we are today, and this is through his son Yahweh Shai. He's going to save his elect. And if here in Babylon the Great, America, the 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off, but they're going to come back in the kingdom. So verse 22, for my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, because of the mercy which shall come unto you from the everlasting, our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. So this is from the perspective of Israel, the land itself. It's expecting us to come back, the Israelites. So when we come back, New Jerusalem, the whole earth is really going to be singing at this point. Like it says in Isaiah 14, like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, which is all the world. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they shortly see your salvation from the Most High, which shall come upon you with great glory and the brightness of the everlasting. So, like all the nations seen us go into captivity, they're going to see us come be saved. They're going to see the armies of the Lord. They're going to see our salvation, and it's going to be the greatest thing that this world has seen. There ain't going to be nothing like it. Like the Exodus out of Egypt. And this is going to top that. Verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. So our enemy, the top one being Esau Edom, like I mentioned, Psalms 83. They persecuted us. They did whatever they want to us. They wore us out, constantly harassing us, shedding our blood, not giving us the recognition that we deserve, whatever it may be. They're going to shortly, they're going to be the prey. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. So the Most High brought these things on us, and he's remembering us in these last days. And how is that? Through him sending his son, through Yahweh Shem Shai, sending his son Yahweh Shai to give repentance to Israel, and in these last days, waking up his men, starting with Abba Bivens, where the word going out. This is Yahweh Shem Shai remembering us by putting the prophets out there. Starting with the elder apostles of Great Millstone, putting the word out there that Yahweh Shai, the son of Yahweh, is coming, that we're not forgotten. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. So now that this truth is out, and the knowledge of who the true Israelites are, according to the Bible, that we should be seeking Yahweh Shem Shai while we can, because there's going to be a time, the famine of the word. There's going to be a time where this word is not going to be available. We're not going to have the internet. We're not going to have videos to to look at, and you're just gonna be out there with whatever you've been eating. That's what you're gonna have. You know, verse 29: For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. And well, I'll keep reading. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. So they are enemies. Like I said, Esau, Edom, the number one. Saying raise it. Destroying the temple, burning the temple. Saying, hey, bow down to my soul that we may walk over. That took advantage of us. That completely destroyed us as a people. Put drugs in our neighborhood. Put guns in our neighborhood. Gave us this shitty music that destroyed the minds. Give us these drugs that destroy people's minds. Give us these entertainment that destroyed the people's minds. That put poison in our neighborhoods. That surrounds you with constant noise that bugs you out. That's constantly running experiments on you just to see how you die. This devil, Esau, Edom. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities of thy children. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. And today, this is speaking of Babylon the Great. Looking at the prophecy, this is matching up. This place is going to be destroyed by an everlasting fire, the ICBMs, the thermonuclear destruction. So that's all I'm gonna read from this. But this is what's coming. We have been a prey. The nations devoured us. They ate us up. They did whatever they wanted to us, and this is shortly turning around. Just look at the state of the things. The economy collapsing, the people losing their minds, famines, destructions, diseases at an all-time high, pestilence, people bugging out, wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, so on and so forth, all showing signs of this wicked kingdom's downfall. I did a few lessons on like the signs of a civilization or collapse of a civilization, and this one fits all of them. So this is Jeremiah 10:25, just getting straight to the point. Pour out thy fury upon the heathen that know thee not, and upon the families that call not on thy name. For they have eaten up Jacob, and devoured him, and consumed him, and have made his habitation desolate. So these are all these heathen. Once again, Psalms 83, Esau, Edom at the top. They devoured us. They eat us up. Let's look at these words real quick. This is H398. A call says to eat, to devour, to burn up, to feed, to consume, to destroy. Okay, so they're completely eating us up. They devoured us. A call again. Wait, did I press the right one? Yeah, that's devoured. Okay. Consumed. This is H3615. Kala says to accomplish, cease, consume, determine. To waste away, to be exhausted. Hey, because we were completely, look, this devil has worn us out so bad that If Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai had not woken us up, if Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai had not quickened us, through his word, through his son, through the Holy Spirit, we would be completely done, lost. There would be no way back. We would be just done. No people, nothing. No knowledge that we were ever the Israelites, nothing. We'd just be like 2/3. We'd just be in the world, done. Trying to be a musician, whatever. Trying to make it in the world. But Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has revived us in these last days to destroy, to exterminate. And it's like I'm kind of all over the place. I usually try to get my lessons done a little earlier. This is First Maccabees chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 19. And this is Judas Maccabees giving his speech, to his company. They were very outnumbered, and while he's speaking to them, we can use this in these days. We use this same idea, even though today, we're being as harmless as doves and wise as serpents. We're in the midst of wolves. We're in the midst of our enemies, this and that. And I'll read the next precept, not to ruin it, but I'll just get right into it. This is First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 19. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host. So yeah, they were outnumbered. We're scattered. We're a small number amongst all these different nations we've been scattered to. They outnumber us. We're outgunned. We're out technologied. If that's even a term or a word. We're out. Like, you got listening devices everywhere. They got your modems or your your modems or whatever they're called these days are sonar devices that tell you where your position is in the house. They're listening to everything. They got GPS constantly tracking your position. They got predictive, not predict, pre-crime kind of stuff where they can predict if you're gonna do something. All kinds of things. You got the technology, the drones, the laser weapons, everything. I could just go on and on. But for the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host. Let me read that again. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai strengthens you. The only reason Esau Edom is where he is because the Most High gave him that technology. The Most High put it in those people's minds. For Palantir, the Most High put it in those people's minds. For the nuclear bomb, Most High put it in those scientists' minds to create that. You understand? All this, the knowledge, everything, strength comes from the heavens. It makes me think of Samson. When he was fighting with the jawbone of an ass. But before that, it said, the spirit came mightily upon him. I like to. But anyway, moving on. This is First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 20. They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us. So these heathen nations, they and Esau Edom especially, it says in the scriptures that his pride is lifted up to the heavens. This devil, he's oozing with pride, and you can see it on these Edomites' faces. They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and our children to spoil us. So they're coming at us. We're a prey to them. But we fight for our lives and for our laws. And this is what sparked the lesson was, it made me think of a proverb I read once. I can't remember where it is. I tried to find it. I can't really find it. It's not, AI, Google ain't giving me a clear answer, but pretty much a predator take a fox or a wolf, for instance, right? They're basically what they devour, the sheep, whatever. Wolves hunting the sheep, right? They're looking for that to devour. It's just looking for a meal. There's plenty of sheep out there, but whereas the sheep or the lamb, it's fighting for its life. It's trying to get away from that predator. And the same thing with us. We're fighting for our lives, and we're living through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And this devil is using any means, propaganda, telling us that we're not the Israelites, this, that, whatever, turning our people against us, whatever means, so he can devour us. So he can try to rule in his kingdom forever. But it's not going to happen. It's coming to an end. Verse 22, wherefore Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them. So the point is, that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is overthrowing you devils. We don't have to do anything but bring out this word. We don't have to do anything but, bring out the word, believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, repent from our wicked ways, and do the best we can. Try to keep the law, statutes, commandments the best we can, because we know we can't do it in this wicked kingdom, in this wicked flesh. Look at the position that we in. This is because we can't keep the commandments. And our Savior, Yahushai, he's going to save us from this. He's going to save us from this wicked kingdom and these defiled bodies. And we're going to have the law, statutes, commandments put within us. We're going to be like Yahushai. And Yahushai, guess what? Yahushai is coming to stomp these niggas out like grapes. Isaiah 63. So if we're going to be like Yahushai, what do you think we're going to be doing once we get them new bodies? So, hey, for the time being, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 10. And I'll start at verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. So yeah, we in the flesh. We're walking in this flesh. We're doing the best we can in this. But we're not carnal like Esau. We're not going to war with you. We're not like these other Israelite groups, doing drills and this, that, whatever. Hey, and there's nothing wrong. Hey, you should learn how to fight. You should know how to fight, how to defend yourself. It's a good thing to know, but know that that's not the end all be all. Know that you ain't doing like Esau's doing. We're like it says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to the pulling down of strongholds. So our weapons are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And first off, the men of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai are out here prophesying, and that's doing more damage than any Jake with a baton could do. Or any Jake with you know what I'm saying. Any Jake, this word does more damage. I'll put it like this: this word does more damage than any Jake with Esau's technology can do. That's it. Shoot. Verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. So this truth is casting down everything. It is casting down how they said the Lord was born immaculate conception. That we're not Israelites. Everything. That everything is casting down this world. This like it says in Hebrews, this word is sharper than any two-edged sword. So yeah, man. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. I'm just going to get straight to the point. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. So, everybody that devoured us, that ate us up, let's see what that word is. Oh, it's a call. Again, those that ate us up, they're going to be ate. They're going to be devoured. They're going to be exploited. Hey, because the first round, the first round draft for the slaves in the kingdom are going to be you elites. And y'all are going to be burying bodies, cleaning up the earth, cleaning up all the mess that you and your ancestors made, cleaning up everything and building up our kingdom. All thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So the tables is going to be turned. You think it's just going to be like this forever? You're just going to have the Israelites in your clutches, oppressing us forever? No. Our power, our Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, is sending his son, Yahushai, to save us from this condition. Verse 17, for I will restore health unto thee. And that's also a stronghold, saying that Jesus, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, his name is Yahushai, came for everybody. No, he came for the Israelites. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Yeah, ain't nobody would. Hey, according to them, nobody was looking for us. Nobody cared about us. Hey, all the nations of the world, they didn't care that we're the Israelites. They didn't care the condition that we're in, cutting off our hands, this and that. They didn't care. The harsh conditions that we're hearing, hey, they played it off. They said, oh, I seen a thing yesterday talking about the genocide that happened in the Congo. When I was talking about the hands being cut off, the transit, that didn't really happen. And if it did, it wasn't that many numbers. The transatlantic slave trade, oh, it wasn't that bad. That was a free boat ride. I'm being facetious with it, but they downplay these things. Oh, your experiences here. Oh, you mean to tell me you live in being around noise constantly that affects you? Oh, shut up, nigger. So this is going to be reversed on you. Thinking nobody's coming to look for us. Hey, Yahushua is coming to look for his elect. He's going to gather them. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, until the day that I raise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So the point being here, wait ye upon me. You Israelites, wait upon the Lord. Because until the day, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So wait upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai until he rises up to the prey. Let's get that word for prey real quick. This is H5706, I'd, the same in the sense of aim and attack, booty, prey, booty. Yeah, you taking the spoils. Prey, hey, you just ready for the taking. You think you got it, all that stuff, but now you don't know there's a bigger predator. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, his fury is going to be on all the nations, Isaiah 34. And he's going to gather all the nations too in World War III, in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, in the Middle East. And guess what? In 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, Yahushai is going to wipe out all these armies in a single blast. It's going to be beautiful. This is Revelation. And then I'm going to jump to this Chat GPT in a second, because I'm going to read this here. This is Revelation 17, and I'll start at verse 1. And this is the headline says the great prostitute. This is Revelation 17 and verse 1 in the NLT. One of the seven angels who had poured out the seven bowls came over and spoke to me. Come with me, he said, and I will show you the judgment that is going to come on the great prostitute who rules over many waters. So this is that great prostitute, America, Babylon the Great, the whore. And the waters, if you read further down in the chapter, the waters represent peoples, nations, and tongues. Matter of fact, I'll go down and get it. Right there, verse 15. Then the angel said unto me, the waters where the prostitute is ruling represents masses of people of every nation and language. So that's who the waters is. This whore is ruling over the world, ruling over all people. You know, what's the world currency? The dollar. If you want to fly, you want to be a pilot, what language you got to speak? English. Is it the King's English? No, it's American English. You know, things like that. What fashion trends? Who sets the trends? When the world shut down a few years ago, who started it? Because it started in China. You know, China shut down, but the world didn't shut down until who? Yeah, go ahead. So, verse 2, the kings of the world have committed adultery with her. And what was that? In Jeremiah, it says, Babylon have been a golden cup that I have made the world drunk. The kings of the world have committed adultery with her, and the people who belong to this world have been made drunk by the wine of her immorality. So the entire world has been made drunk after this whore, you know, through the philosophies, capitalism, ism, feminism, you know, different things like that. The constant consumption, the constant need to consume and do this and be on top and be ahead of the curve and this and that and follow the trends and this and that, whatever this whore puts out. You know, you see Moab and Ammon, the Chinese and the Japanese, you know, getting surgery, you know, making themselves look extra pale and getting their eyes widened and dyeing their hair blonde. You know, you see different things like divorce popping up in different countries and men not wanting to be with women and women not wanting to be with men and all these divides. This is from this whore. I'm going to jump down. This is verse 5. A mysterious name was written upon her forehead, Babylon the Great, the mother of all prostitutes and obscenities in the world. So the mother of prostitutes, meaning she's the bottom bitch or the top hoe, whatever, you know, like that. And obscenities in the world. I could see that she was drunk and drunk with the blood of God's holy people. This is the Israelites, the saints. Was that Psalms 149? Matter of fact, let me get to it because I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's go here. Maybe it's 48. Let's see here. Let the saints be joyful upon their bed. No, I'm sorry. I think it's 148. This is Psalms 148 and verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is who the saints are. This is who Yahweh Shem Yahushai's holy people are. The Israelites. So again, Revelation 17 and verse 6 in the NLT, I could see that she was drunk with the blood of the Most High's holy people who were witnesses for Yahushai. I stared at her in complete amazement. So this whore, America, is drunk off the blood of our people, which were given to her for a prey. They were given into her hands, and she's done whatever she wanted. So she off that, you know. She off that blood. She's completely inebriated herself. You know, but back here in verse 5 again, it says, a mysterious name was written on her forehead, Babylon the Great, the mother of all prostitutes and obscenities in the world. So I'm going to pause this for a second. And this is in the chat GPT. I asked it, what are obscenities? And it says, obscenities are words, expressions, or gestures that are considered offensive, vulgar, or inappropriate in polite or formal settings. They are usually related to taboo subject or taboo topics like sexual acts, bodily functions, profanity invoking religion or sacred terms, insults meant to degrade or shock. And hey, this is bad. Like, I'll just keep reading. But different cultures and time periods define what counts as obscene differently. For example, a word that's extremely offensive in one language or country might be casual slang in another. That's fine. I'm not even worried about that. But the point is, I'm trying to get to what obscenities are. It says, by this definition, applying it to the world, what country fits? And I probably could have asked the question better, but that's fine. That's a sharp way to frame it. If we take the broad definition, obscenity equals what a culture regards as vulgar, offensive, or taboo. So what culture, we really looking at this from? We're looking at this from the Israelite culture. Our heritage, the heritage that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gave us, from the Bible. Just look at it from a perspective from the Bible. What's obscene? This place is completely through. Completely obscene. It says that's a sharp way to frame it. If we take the broad definition, obscenity equals what a culture regards as vulgar, offensive, or taboo. Then every country has its own obscenities because all societies draw lines around what must not be spoken lightly. In the U.S., obscenities are usually tied to sexual acts, bodily functions, or slurs. In some Middle Eastern countries, invoking the sacred names of which these heathen nations, they don't have the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The name is dreadful to the heathen. So whatever they get offended by, they ain't offended by nothing really. Because they're not saying the name. They're not saying the name Yahweh. What Middle Eastern person you heard say the name Yahweh? Yahweh Shai? None. In some Middle Eastern countries, invoking the sacred names of God or insulting family honor can be considered more obscene than sexual language. If you take the name, somebody just that Egyptian that was disrespecting the name Yahweh. What happened to him? That's how serious it is. I'm just going to jump down. I'm going to jump down to the next topic because it's not, or the next question. Yes, it asked me, do you want me to push further and look at which modern nations as a whole behave obscenely by biblical or moral standards, like nations that glorify violence, greed, or sexual immorality? That might tie it more directly to your prophetic studies. And, hey, yes. Because, hey, I'm constantly, like, when I'm asking ChatGPT about stuff, I might ask it about, like, some technical things, like, where to find information about, cars or something like that, or whatever information I'm looking for. That's just one example. But most of the time I'm comparing it to the scriptures. Seeing if it's going to tell me the truth, it's going to make something up. And a lot of times, hey, it's bullshitting. And that should be, hey, if you use this, that shit is irritating. It says, yes, what modern nations would be considered the most obscene? Got it. If we shift from the just words to behavior, especially in biblical moral sense, obscenity takes on a deeper meaning. Shameless indulgence in things Yahweh calls abominations, idolatry, fornication, bloodshed, greed, oppression. By that lens, certain modern nations stand out. And number one, America, Babylon the Great in prophecy, which I've already been through this, so it's already going to know, what Babylon the Great is. It should know because I've gone through the prophecies in it. And I've asked it these type of questions, and it's like pointing to this. This is the only one. It says America, Babylon the Great in prophecy, Revelation 17 and 18, which I have pulled up, leads the world in promoting pornography, sexual immorality, and entertainment built on violence and corruption. So number one. This is this place. This is that cup that's being passed around. Pornography, sexual immorality, entertainment. This is in the entertainment. It contains all this. Your musicians, the singers, they're all just prostitutes. See, look at how they're dressed. Look at what they promote. Look at what they sing about. This is all that comes out of this place. Just immorality. Glorifies greed and consumerism. Says merchants of the earth are waxed rich. Revelation 18:3. It spreads its culture globally, influencing other nations to drink of the wine of her fornication. Yeah. Says 2, Western Europe, the daughters of Babylon, the beast power. Says, and this is the beast, that this whore is sitting on. Says nations like Britain, France, Spain, Germany, historically colonizers spread both Christianity, false doctrine, and exploitation across the earth. Today, many embrace lifestyles that directly oppose biblical order, sexual perversion, blasphemous art, mocking of Yahweh's laws. This is Russian and Eastern nations, Gog and Magog, notorious for brutality, corruption, and disregard for life. Though often opposing Western liberal obscenity, they practice their own through violence, idolatry, and oppression. Nations steeped in idolatry, Asia, Africa, and South America. Though less dominant globally, many of the nations still practice open idolatry, ritual obscenities, and sacrifices to false gods. Obscenity here is spiritual corruption, worship. Okay, but all these nations are following after Babylon the Great. So, scriptural tie-in, the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, Isaiah 24:5. This means obscenity isn't confined to one land, but chief culprit in the last days is Babylon the Great, America, the nation whose sins have reached unto heaven, Revelation 18:5. So that's all I'm gonna read from that. That word came up, and I just asked if ChatGPT would know, because what did it say? It says, Revelation 17 and verse 5, a mysterious name was written on her forehead, Babylon the Great, mother of all prostitutes and obscenities in the world. So that's the title. That thing written on her forehead, that's her title, the mother of prostitutes, of all prostitutes and obscenities. This is the one that births this whoredom. In other words, this is the one that's producing all this stuff. So I'm gonna close out after this. This is Revelation chapter 18, and dang it, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see here. I'm gonna start at verse 1. This is the fall of Babylon, Revelation 18 and verse 1 in the NLT. After all this, I saw another angel come down from heaven with great authority, and the earth grew bright with his splendor. He gave a mighty shout, Babylon is fallen, that great city is fallen. She has become a home for demons. She is a hideout for every foul spirit, a hideout for every foul vulture, and every foul and dreadful animal. And this is Isaiah 34 again. For all the nations have fallen because of the wine of her passionate immorality. The kings of the world have committed adultery with her. Because of her desires for extravagant luxury, the merchants of the world have grown rich. And then I heard another voice calling from heaven, come away from her, my people, which is come out of her, my people. Do not take part in her sins, or you will be punished with her. And this is when the elect are taken out of this place. We're beamed up into the chariots. The elect are beamed up in the chariots. And Lord willing, I'm up that number. So, verse 5, for her sins are piled as high as heaven, and the Most High remembers her evil deeds. So the Most High is bringing her to remembrance, and he's going to bring destruction on this place. It says, do to her as she has done to others, double her penalty for all her evil deeds. She brewed a cup of terrors for others, So brew twice as much for her. So this destruction, the ICBM destruction that's coming, and this is from all the nations that have nuclear arms. They're gonna fire on this whore. So she boasted in her heart, I am a queen on my throne. I am no helpless widow. I have no reason to mourn. And this place here, it's never had a war, never had a war besides a civil war, never really been touched like that besides 9/11. Hey, this place thinks it's gonna last forever. You know, they're thinking like years ahead, like this place is gonna keep going. Therefore, these plagues will overtake her in a single day, death and mourning and famine. She will be completely consumed by fire, for the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, who judges her, is mighty. So, a destruction is coming. The ICBMs are coming. This place is going to be burnt up completely. You know, like in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. And I'm going to jump down. This is verse 21. Then a mighty angel picked up a boulder the size of a huge millstone, and he threw it into the ocean and shouted, just like this, the great city Babylon will be thrown down with violence and will never be found again. And just like that, as quick as that is, hey, throw a stone. Go throw a stone in some water. Go throw a little pebble, rock, whatever, just for an example. And see how quick it makes a splash and then disappears. You ain't gonna see that thing again. Imagine it like this. Babylon the Great is gonna be done. The sound of harps, singers, flutes, and trumpets will never be heard in you again. Hey, this place is constantly noise, noise, noise. Like I live out in the country at the moment, and it is much quieter, but there's still noise, constant noise. But it's not as bad as in the city. You know, people constantly playing music, constantly. Place doesn't shut up. No craftsmen, no trades will ever be found in you again. The sound of the mill will never be heard in you again. No more work. And you can see it drying up now. Places closing doors, businesses shutting down, you know, unemployment rising, mass layoffs. It's beautiful. The light of a lamp will never shine in you again. And I was speaking to a brother, you know, because I'm getting back into photography. You know, I like doing photography and long exposures and taking pictures of the night skies, you know, like since I was like a teenager. And I was speaking to him about the light pollution. It's like I can't really you can't take photos of the night sky in the city. Like you're not gonna see any of the stars. Like you could probably only see like one or two stars in the city because of the light pollution. Like it's blocking out all the stars. Even out here where I am, far outside the city, you can see more stars, but it's still only a handful. So I was telling them like about a spot, you know, where I wanted to go where you could see like the Milky Way and everything like that. But you know, just slack it, just off the point. It says the light of a lamp will never shine in you again. So no more of this light pollution. You don't actually see the stars. Where when you're outside, you know, driving into the city or whatever at night, at certain places you could see like an aura because of all the light pollution. Like you don't see, you know, the stars or anything like that. All you see is just this bright lights in the background where you're driving down a dark road. You know, if that kind of makes sense. But the happy voices of brides and grooms will never be heard in you again. For your merchants were the greatest in the world, and you deceived the nations with your sorceries. A propaganda, and this is a high propaganda time. In your streets flowed the blood of the prophets and the Most High's holy people, and the blood of people slaughtered all over the world. So, in the streets, you slaughtered Yahweh Shem Shai's people. You know, and that's coming to an end. At this point in prophecy, this point, This hasn't happened yet, but this is getting ready to take place shortly. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to avenge his people. He's going to avenge Israel. He's going to avenge the blood, all the blood that you said. Hey, all the tears, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to wipe them away. So, hey, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom.